Hi, Julie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice. We've been friends for about 12 years now.
Yes, time flies.
It sure does, being on the streets and that. And it's been quite 12 years for both of us, going in different ways, but constantly crisscrossing our paths and stuff. So I'm going to start back. We were sort of interrupted with our other video on the street there. And today I'm going to be doing the videotaping of you, which is we both consent to the videotape. So, and you have no problem with this at all, I'm sure?
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
Neither do I.
I'm an open book.
You're an open book. Okay, well, then I'm going to fire questions at you. Okay? So, when we left off there, I think what I'd like to start with today is that clanging in the background on the original video of you. And what we experienced that particular night was that clanging. And that was that gentleman that something had happened behind us while we were filming. And he was yelling at someone. And those were what he was clanging with was those two steel poles. And he was hitting the hell out of the light standard as hard as he could. And, of course, we were just trying to stay low-key so we wouldn't be noticed. Because a guy like that, flashing around with two poles, you didn't want to be in the hairs of him for sure. And so the other, and then he was that mask on him, and the way he wore his mask, I know he's trying to use it for the COVID, but he looked more like, without the cowboy hat, but the old bank bandits from the Wild West with the way they used to wear their scarves. And he kind of terrified me earlier that day. And you were mentioning that he was from the shelter?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Have you seen him since at all?
Not at all, no.
Neither have I. So I don't know. Hopefully maybe he did get picked up for carrying those two steel poles around. But this is how dangerous it is on the streets. So I want to talk a bit about the crimes that we're having on the streets.
No problem. Go ahead.
And especially being a single woman and being on the streets and a woman alone. What sort of things have you encountered? Like, we'll start off maybe with knives, because down here in the market area, we've had a number of stabbings. Have you ever had a knife pulled on you?
Yes, about, 6 months ago.
About 6 months ago.
I was walking to a bus stop, and just taking a break from walking, and a girl came in and just starting harassing me. And she says, well, geez, get out, or else I'll pull something on you. So anyways, I got scared and, I left, but I saw the knife pulled on me, yeah.
And you say it was quite a big knife that was
It was
pulled.
yes, exactly.
Now I'm going to show you a knife, and I'll show, hopefully I can get our viewers here to see the knife. I'm going to try and see if I can get this to come up okay on the video. Now this is a knife that about 3 months after the injection site at the Shepherd's was opened, I went to take my dog out for a walk. And this was a knife that was open on the lawn when I took my dog out. And if you notice it, I'll give you a little closer picture of it, how sharp it is and how easy it slides in. And then when you look further down... Okay. Sorry, we hit the wrong button there. But if you notice how sharp it goes in and how nice and smooth it goes in, and then look at the teeth. All you have to do is take a twist. You get that in your gut, and that looks pretty darn dangerous. Now, I've also showed that one to the police officer at one point, and the interesting thing was, well, he pulled out his pocket knife, and my idea and what I understand of a legal pocket knife is it's not supposed to be longer than your palm of your hand. Well, his was the palm of his hand, being a man's hand, but this blade that I had picked up was even longer than his palm, and he seemed to think that was acceptable. I don't think so. But in your case, you've seen the picture and you've seen the knife, so you'd say it was long. The knife that was pulled on you was even longer?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Okay. Do you know of other homeless people that have had this happen to them as well?
Yes, a couple incident downtown, yeah. But I wasn't around, but I heard some stories, yeah, that they got stabbed. And I saw their wounds. Their
wounds.
Yeah, their wounds, yeah.
Yeah, wounds.
Yeah, really, yeah.
So that must have been pretty horrific too.
Yes, very surprising too, and really, really horrified. Yes, yeah.
Another thing, like, what do you find when you're walking around on the streets? What do you always, or what do you on the lookout for? Do you have to look behind you, or?
All the time, constantly.
Yeah. What are some of the things you fear most on the street?
Oh my God, having a knife.
Having a
pulled
knife.
on me. Yeah, that's the worst thing. It can happen to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this just happened. You were in a bus shelter near Briere at the time that this occurred. So this was probably something that was never even reported to the police.
Never. No.
And this is some of the things that need to be reported but never get reported. And I don't even think that they care at times. It's just, but we've had so many stabbings and shootings down here. Did you know anyone who had been shot down here at all?
No, not at all. Not about the shooting, no.
No, not about the shooting?
No shooting, no.
Okay, because this is getting quite out of hand with what's going on at the shelters and that. Now, when these people come in, would you say this woman what you mentioned was from Hull, the one that pulled a knife on you?
I'm pretty sure she was from Hull, yes.
Okay, so she wasn't from the Shepherds. She was just someone coming in this area.
Exactly.
Okay, and she thought she was going to be big with a knife, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, and you just happened to be sitting there and at the time. Right place, right time for her. Okay, so what have you had any trouble with aggressive panhandlers, for example?
In my case, no.
No. Okay, because you're pretty well known, I know, down here.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and you're pretty sturdy yourself, so you don't take any guff from anyone.
Never. I always stand my grounds with everything. I see them coming a mile an hour.
Mm-hmm. Do you see anything like people in the shelters pulling out knives at all, or know about knives?
No accident in front of me. No, only once.
Just the once?
Yeah, just the once.
Okay. What are the other things that you've seen? Like, I mean, you're not the only woman on the street. I'm sure that's been approached by Johns that want sex and that. What sort of things have you experienced and seen other women experience?
Jeez, I saw a couple of cars like running around going around the Shepherds all the time and trying to pick up girls, all men's.
All men.
Yeah, all men just picking up girls at night, yeah.
Okay.
And they go, some of them always go into the cars, yeah. They do go with them.
So they know where to find the girls for sure.
Exactly.
And what about the drug dealers?
I saw a couple of guys too, walking around and picking up girls again and giving them drugs, yes.
Okay, is there any age? Is it old, young?
Oh my God, the dealers are kind of old and the clients kind of young.
Okay, so how old would you say some of the clients are?
20, 25, 30.
Okay, so not any young teens at the moment that you're seeing. Because I know that I've seen a couple of young teens on the streets too, and they're kind of worried.
Correct.
About what's going on. And even another woman who was homeless on the street, when I was talking to her, she moved her spot just over a block closer to the Shepherds. She was sleeping at night, and this John came along, tried to wake her up, apparently. So do you sleep mostly on the streets, or?
Yes, I do.
So you haven't had anybody wake you up looking for sex?
Never. No, not with me, but with other girls, yes. I heard a lot of screamings at night. I hear a lot of screamings, and with the other girls, yes, I do.
Okay, that might explain why, even being a tenant in the area here, is when I have my windows open, why I hear some of the screaming at night, because I've seen girls run past my apartment building with guys chasing them. So this might be one of the causes, possibly, in the middle of the night?
Yes, correct.
Good. Okay, let's see, what else have we seen? What else goes on kind of in the shelters? Have you seen a lot of crime? You mentioned stuff being stolen and...
All the time, constantly. Stealing from us, frauding us, throwing us out wintertime, rain or shine anytime. It's always abuse all the time, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, abuse between not the staff right now, but between the clients.
All the time too, yes.
What kind of abuse do you suffer at the shelters?
Oh my God, mental abuse and physical.
Yeah, this would be from the clients as well?
Correct.
So, and do you find it worse with the ones on the drugs?
Yes.
And you don't feel that the drugs should be a separate place for the people that need the extra help for the drugs?
For sure, yes.
Because I know that's what I feel, that people like yourself who are not on drugs should be in a separate place, completely away from the drugs.
Exactly.
So that we can just deal with just the drugs alone with the problem that we're dealing with. Have you been approached, for example, by any dealers yourself?
Not at all, no.
Oh, you've been lucky then. So I'm just checking this out. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Because there's been a lot of stuff. Now, I think I'm just going to do a short video of you tonight. So, because I'm going to have to somehow put this together because I messed up a little bit. But what happened today between you and the police?
Oh, geez. I was sitting down. I was just listening to the radio and just, like just combing my hair. And so two police officers just arrived and told me, excuse me, ma'am, you gotta leave. So I said, I approached him. I said, no problem, officer, I'm leaving. So the second time, he gets out and harassed me again. So I said, well, geez, I'm leaving. I told you guys, yes, officer, I'm leaving. So after that, he got up from his car and just, standing up like this, and just being, just, like playing tough a little bit, with me. So I said, no problem, I'll leave, So after that, though, the female officer told me, so what's your name, by the way? Oh, I said, Julie. Yeah, my name. I say my name. So after that, though, after 3-4 minutes after, he goes back in his car, and she says, Julie, you're good to go, like this. So anyways, I left, and so that was the end of it.
So how'd that make you feel?
Oh my God. So uncomfortable, really uncomfortable.
Yeah, have you been approached like this before with the police?
Yes, so many times in the past, yes.
Okay, because from what I can tell you about this, having once been married to a police officer myself many years ago, it was a saying that came from my grandfather that really stuck. And that was, it's not the uniform that makes the man, it's the man that makes the uniform, back in those days. And literally what he's just done something completely off the charts here. And he certainly is not much of a man, definitely, for doing that. He's trying to expect the uniform to make the man, and that does not work at all. So this is why he thinks he's big. And actually, the female officer, she was the woman who made the uniform in this particular case, and kudos for her for doing what she did in the correct manner. She acted as I would expect a police officer to act. And what I have seen good police officers do, she was the good officer. The other one was the bad officer, because obviously if you're just sitting there, you're maybe in the wrong place and he asks you to move, you're willing to move. But just sitting there combing your hair, I mean, you certainly were not flashing a knife or anything at the officer at all. So I would expect him to have more respect, even for you, because like I said, you're not one that's on drugs, and this is where the problem is. Everybody gets lumped in being at the shelters of being, they're all drug addicts, and that's not fair to anyone at all when you're so stable that you could live in your own place. And to have to wait at least 12 years now after I've met you in the shelter at first, this is not right at all. But like I said, this is not funny. And I know I've been getting a lot more people telling me how they're getting harassed by the police, harassed by the staff in the shelters, and some of the stuff that's going on needs to be recorded and also told what's going on. But like I said, he wasn't much of a man, he was more of a mouse. The uniform cannot prop you up. You have to prop the uniform up to do a good job. And kudos to the police officer, the female. And she's definitely the one with the head on her shoulders, for sure. She's thinking, she's on her feet, she knows what she's doing. So I'm going to leave it there for today. And we'll try and have another session maybe another time, because I don't want to have it too long, and I think we're going to have to patch this together, unfortunately, this video. So I'm going to turn this off, and we shall talk again later, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay.